And soon after that album came out, they released the single, which I mentioned before. That's on the second disc of the collector's edition of Forever Changes. The songs being You're Mine and We Belong Together and Laughing Stock. Sometime in 1968, everyone in the band left, except Arthur. So in a sense, everyone left Arthur. But Arthur decided to reform the group with a new lineup. The guys that he was hiring were mostly blues musicians, and according to Arthur, they had either never heard Forever Changes or they didn't like Forever Changes. And with For Sale, it was their last to be released on Elektra. Because of the disappointing sales of Forever Changes, Jack Holtzman decided to give Arthur one more chance, and the album tanked in the charts, and they were dropped. But does that make For Sale a bad album? No. At least I don't think so. I think it's a pretty good album. If you're looking for something that's like the first three albums, you're not going to find it here. It's a different album. And more so with all these albums that came after Forever Changes, they're more leaning towards the hard rock, bluesy, blues rock, hard rock genre. Yeah, it was a new band. Who could blame him? He wanted to take the music into another direction. And for what it is, For Sale is a very good album. Is it as great as the first three albums? No, but it's still good. August, going through the tracking list here, August is pretty good. I like Your Friend and Mine, or Neil's song. Good Times is, well, good. Singing Cowboy I like a lot. A few of these, I will admit that a couple of these songs, just reading through the tracking list, a couple of these songs are hard to remember. I can't remember how they go or whatever, but there's a couple of good songs on here. Okay, so after For Sale, they were dropped by Elektra, and they were eventually signed to Blue Thumb Records, and they released another 2 albums. The first one they released on Blue Thumb Records was an album called Out Here, which is a double album. There's some good songs on here still. I'll Pray For You is good. Abalone, I like a lot. They re-record Sign DC, I don't know why. I Guess I'm Down is okay. Standout's good. A little bit of a funky track there. Discharged is interesting. Doggone would have probably been better if they had kept it, a couple minutes shorter. It's 1 second short of being a 12-minute song. That's about it, really. I think what this album lacks, it's all over the place. There are some really short songs that clock in about a minute, and then there are really long songs that go on forever. Another song here, Love is More Than Words or Better Late Than Never. And that clocks in at 11 minutes and 20 seconds. Overall, Out Here's a decent album. Not as good as, certainly not as good as the first 3, and not as good as the For Sale. But, it's okay. False Start. It's okay. The problem with it is, whereas Out Here was really long, this one's really short. It's about a half hour long. It's starting to decline here. The quality of the songs are starting to decline from For Sale, from Out Here to False Start. But again, there's some good songs on here. The Everlasting First is a highlight, basically because Jimi Hendrix played the guitar solo on there. Yes, Arthur Lee and Jimi Hendrix were in the same room. That's what the album had to boast about, because when the album came out, Jimi Hendrix had died. So it was his last the last thing he recorded. Flying is okay. They do Stand Out Again, which I don't get why. It's actually a live version of the song. Slick Dick is good. Feel Daddy Feel Good. The funky track there. And Ride That Vibration closes out the album. Really after 1970, Arthur kept the Love name going for as long as he could. I think the group went on up until 1974 or 5. He reformed the band many times after that. Now, in some cases, he did have a version of Love with him in the studio that resulted in a studio album. And those albums were shelved for one reason or another. There's at least 14 songs. 14 songs on here that would have or could have been Love's 1971 album. I mean, it's a digipack sort of thing here, and some good liner notes here. Well worth reading about Love at that time and what Arthur was trying to do. As for the songs on here, Love Jumped Through My Window, I Can't Find It's good, Product of the Times, Everybody's Gotta Live, Midnight Sun's good, Trippin' and Slippin' and Easy Rider. The last of those two, I think Jimi Hendrix recorded. Okay, now as for the second unreleased album, that was recorded around 1973 or 1974. Now, it's debated whether it would have been a Love album or an Arthur Lee solo album. Well, it came out as a Love album, and I think 2013. I think it came out in 2013 or 2014. It took a long time for it to come out. The album I'm talking about is Black Beauty. Now, it says on the back here, yeah, 2013. I got this in 2014 after I graduated college. So, and as you can see on the back here, it is numbered. So now, Black Beauty. This is a really good album, more so than Love Lost. If this had been released back in the day, it could have gotten something could have started here. And yeah, I really like Black Beauty. In terms of songs, Young and Able's good. Midnight Sun, which was on here. Now on here was an acoustic song. On here it's a hard rocker. I like the version on here better. Can't Find It is also on here. Walk Right In, which yeah, is a rewrite. It's a cover of the Rooftop Singer. I think the group, what was the name of the group? The Rooftop. It is a cover of the Rooftop Singers song, but I think Arthur slightly reworked it. Skid, it's a great song. Beep Beep, love it. It mostly repeats. It sometimes repeats, not as much as Vindicator did, but it uses some of the songs that were on here and didn't get released. And I thought they probably thought they were going to get released on here, but this was never released. So the packaging here is really nice. It's a liner notes here in a book form here with some nice pictures of the group of the time. So after Black Beauty was recorded and shelved, I think Arthur split or ended Love for the time being. But then he reformed the band with, once again, a different lineup. And they came out with an album that I'm trying to find on here. The album's called Reel to Reel. Studio albums came out from Arthur Lee and Love. I know he released a solo album around that time, but going through Wikipedia here are the other. Now, looking on my phone here on Wikipedia, looking here at what came out next. In terms of Arthur Lee and Love, going chronological order here. Love Live, which was a concert from 1978, was released in 1980, and I think Brian McLean's on that one. Then there was one in 1982 called Studio/Live. Saying here the second side was live from a 1970 concert, which I think might be on the Blue Thumb Records box set. I'm not sure. And then after that, sometime during the 1990s, Arthur reformed Love, this time with a group called Baby Lemonade. And then around that time, a box set came out, or a compilation came out, called Love Story, 1966-1972, which I'm pretty sure was, consisted of the best of Love, obviously, with songs from the first three albums, and it's saying it goes from 1972, so I'm guessing it goes from at least Arthur's first solo album. And from what I know, the entire Forever Changes album was on that set, and that set was met with good reviews when it came out in 1995, to the point where I think the classic lineup of the group, or the classic era of Love, were thinking about getting back together. So he got out in 2001, and then as soon as he got out, he got back together Baby Lemonade, and they reformed Love and started touring again, and started playing Forever Changes in its entirety. So that went on from 2003 to about 2005, and a live album came out of that, Forever Changes Live. Now, it was Arthur and the guys in Baby Lemonade, which I think there were 4 or 5 of them in the group. And I think Johnny Echols sometimes joined them live. Now, this went up until 2005. Arthur wanted to stop touring because he was sick. And it turned out that he had leukemia. And I think all through 2006, there were benefit concerts. One of them was Robert Plant, who was a big Love fan. I mean, these were very small venues where these tribute gigs were happening, and I think the guys from Baby Lemonade were at them. But unfortunately, in August 2006, Arthur Lee passed away, and that was it for Love. Until 2009. Since 2009, Love have reformed, sort of. They are now under the name Love Revisited, and the group is now the guys in Baby Lemonade plus Johnny Echols. They're touring right now, and I would really like to see them. I would have loved to see them with Arthur, but unfortunately that didn't happen. So in terms of any recognition or awards, most of them coming from the Forever Changes album, and pretty cool titles to have here. Some pretty neat things have happened. Before Arthur passed, I think it was British Parliament, members of British Parliament who voted that Forever Changes was the best album ever made. It's good that Arthur lived to see that. Then there were 2 other awards that Arthur did not live to see. One being Forever Changes was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame. And then in 2012, for the 2011 Library of Congress's National Recording Registry list, they selected Forever Changes as one of the 50 selections. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with the National Recording Registry, I highly recommend checking it out. I think it's a great alternative to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which, by the way, Love are still not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Now, in terms of any videos, DVDs, the sad thing is that there's not a lot of videos or any footage of the original Love lineup performing. I mean, you may be able to find a couple clips online of them performing on American Bandstand or whatnot, but that's it. In 2008, there was a documentary made about Arthur Lee and Love, and it was a movie called Love Story, which I think is a very unfortunate title because there's a movie called Love Story out there. Who was in it? Ryan O'Neal, and there has some really corny lines like love means having to never say you're sorry, and no, this is not that. This is much better. For what it is, it's a good documentary. It tells the story of the band from those first 3 albums, and again, with the limited footage that's available of the original Love lineup, they did their best at what they could do. I mean, there's barely any footage of the original Love lineup, so what they have to substitute for it, a lot of interviews. They even managed to get Brian McLean, I guess before he died in '98, and I think this was being worked on for probably a good 10 years. Now, finding a copy of this is not going to be too easy, and if you do find a copy, it's probably going to be very pricey, and I don't think you can get it from Netflix. I say if you find it and you're really interested in seeing it, go ahead and watch it. Or you can go on YouTube and you can check out the interview clips from the documentary that are bonus features on here. So give you a better idea. And yeah, that's about it. So thank you for watching this video, and that's all for me. Yeah.